Waka waka waka, what's up, and welcome back to the channel for yet another FC Finch video, a holiday edition video, if you will. And I call this a holiday edition because this is typically the time of year that a lot of YouTube reviewers like to get on the internet and start posting their best of, worst of for the year list. So I'm kind of following suit and doing my own list. Now, unfortunately for my case, I do not purchase enough new releases, nor do I review enough new releases to put what I feel would be a comprehensive and fair best of, worst of list. However, that is why I'm going to do my personal list of top 5 figures I didn't buy in 2024. Now, I did this list last year for 2023's new releases, and it was a fairly successful video given the size of my channel. Link in the description down below if you haven't seen it. So I figured, you know what, I'm going to do it again for 2024. And if you've been around this channel a while, you already know the what's, the whys, and the hows. So before we get going, I'm going to give you a couple caveats. So the first caveat is, why am I doing this? Now, the biggest reason is that, like many other collectors, I have a finite budget. I have a finite amount of space. I also have a few other hobbies, some other very expensive hobbies like this one that I like to engage in within the year's time. So I cannot always buy every single new release, that comes out on the market. A lot of the time we have to think about a new release and we have to rationalize and de-rationalize it in our minds without even getting to try before we buy. So this video is going to kind of cover a few new releases, some very well received new releases that I personally did not buy in 2024 for reasons, and here's my reasoning why. And just to state that any new release that's mentioned in this video, I have not personally gotten my hands on. I literally had to watch other reviews. I had to look at all the promo shots. I had to see and make sure it was something I really did not want. And some of these were very hard choices. Secondly, this list is going to be all masterpiece figures. That is what I personally collect. Yes, I did look at several mainline figures. I did like them very much. I didn't even buy a mainline figure this year, but it's not typically what I collect, so I'm not really scrutinizing them as heavily as I am a lot of the masterpiece releases. So that's why we're going to keep it only masterpiece this time around. So that being said, let's get on to the list. Sit back, relax, subscribe, and let's get on to the top 5 figures I didn't buy in 2024. Starting off this list with our runner-up, that's right, the hidden 6th non-purchase of 2024, the Magic Square Combaticons. And these are simply my runner-up because I have not purchased them yet. In fact, I won't be purchasing them until early 2025. I was one of the people that heavily over-scrutinized this set when it first came out, when they started showing the promo shots of it. I have the MSO2 Light of Peace, their Masterpiece Optimus Prime. I had the MSO2 EX, which is the premium version of that. And generally, with regards to Magic Square, I really don't care for the feel of their plastics, nor do I care for the lightweight feel of specifically their masterpiece figures. I also really didn't like the paint-infused plastic that was on the MSO2 EX. I found that to be kind of a cop-out in favor of using a more glossy finish. So I was really iffy on buying any new Magic Square masterpiece product. Now, lo and behold, all the reviews came out. The reception was extremely positive and convincing, and I didn't want to go in. I wanted to ignore everything. I really like my Accio ones, but I'm just totally caving in on this set. They just look too good. They just have too much positive reviews about them to pass up. So this is something you can expect in early 2025. I plan to get on the bandwagon for the pre-order for the 3rd one, and I'm going to go back and get their Munitioner and their Heavy Gunner, their Brawl and their Swindle, and we'll probably see the reviews of these things from my perspective coming in early 2025, and I'm looking forward to getting this set on my shelf. So that's our runner-up, the Magic Square Combaticons. And starting off the real list with number 5, Kang Toys Stegsauro, or however you pronounce it. It's their stylized take on a Dinobot Snarl, and potentially all of their Dinobot team. And this was a really hard decision for me. In fact, I stewed over this decision when Stegsauro came out. I think Kang Toys is an awesome company. I don't have their products, but their Producons look awesome. I don't hear any complaints from the people that have them. And lo and behold, the reviews for Stegsauro came out. They were extremely positive. He has awesome looking robot mode. He has a great looking Dino mode, and the accessories. He has a crap ton of accessories. You can do absolutely so much with this guy. Factor in the fact that they combine, which while I never combine them, is equally just as cool. Lots of great engineering in this figure. And I ultimately came to the conclusion that it's not really a figure that I have room for, especially since I'd have to collect the entire set. And any money that I spent on the King Toys Dinobots could be better spent on a figure that's part of a collection set that I'm actively collecting right now. Now, this may change as the rest of the Dinobot team come out. Again, I tried to justify this because I really love the Dinobots, so I have to have all the versions of the Dinobots, and it just didn't work out in my mind. I may end up getting just Grimlock, depending on how the initial reviews of him are, seeing as Grimlock is my favorite character, but we'll see how that goes down the road. At the moment, I'm not really regretting passing on Steg Sorrow. In fact, I kind of forgot I had interest in him in the first place, but we'll see if that changes as the collection progresses and the new figures come out. But for right now, number 5, Kang Toys Steg Sorrow is on my non-purchase list. Number 4 on this list is Unique Toys Red Dasher, or rather their take on an Autobot Dino or Mirage for the savvy out there from the Transformers movie Dark of the Moon. And this is like Stegsaro, another really hard choice. The figure had an awesome alt mode. That Ferrari 458, chef's kiss. Again, I'm a real big car fan, so that alt mode would have been the biggest push for me to personally get it. But it ended up being a great figure in general, and 2 rave reviews, even from people that generally don't care about the Bayverse Transformers. So again, really hard to pass up on this guy. The ultimate factor that drove me away from him was wanting to stick within the original scope of my collection with regards to movie bots, and that is sticking mainly to only characters from the 2007 film with a little bit of the Bumblebee movie mixed in there for added flavor. I may at some point go back and get him and just decide to make a general movie bot display of only bots that I really liked from the movies, but for right now, I'm going to kind of hold off and see what kind of space I end up with. So that makes Red Dasher from Unique Toys number 4 on this list. We're at the halfway point with number 3, and that's going to be MPU-01 Thrust. That's right, the Conehead retool of the MP52 mold, or more specifically, the knockoff retool of the MP52 mold. And a lot of people are probably going to get annoyed with me for this, but I'm kind of waiting to see if the official does it. Now, hear me out with this one. Just hear me out. Yes, I understand that Takara stated that Masterpiece is done after MP60. I completely get that. However, we have seen Takara releasing very recently several plus versions of pre-existing molds after they said the line was canceled. The Ironhide mold had one with, I believe, Guard was his name. Trailbreaker and Hoist have had a couple. One of them specifically being, I believe that's lift ticket, released after they said the line was done. So I'm kind of hoping Takara goes back and does the Coneheads as merely a plus version of the MP52 mold. And that's the only way that I kind of see this working out. Now, yes, I understand that this is kind of a long shot. I'm probably an idiot for holding out for this. But I'm just a guy that would rather give my money to the official manufacturer first before going to a KO company. Even if, yes, I get it, the KO did their own engineering on this, and I do applaud them for that. I just would really like to see if Takara does one first and give them my money first. Getting down to the wire here with number 2, and that's going to be Fantastic Model FM02 Marge. That's right, a Fans Toys product is on my list. This can be weird for all of us, and this is Fans Toys' most recent release of an Ultra Magnus, and this one's going to be really simple. I'm just not a fan of the white prime and armor motif for Ultra Magnus. It's strictly a personal preference thing. I never liked it in the G1 toy. I don't like anything about it in the lore. I've just never cared for any variation of it. I prefer to think of Ultra Magnus as just a robot to truck, not a robot in armor. That's just my personal preference. I have seen the reviews of this guy. I've seen people's photos. I'm jealous of all of you. The paint looks awesome, and it just looks like a damn fine robot like Fans Toys is used to doing. And I certainly applaud Fans Toys for taking the road less traveled, because nobody has done the white prime and armor route in the Masterpiece game. It's a really beautiful thing. It's just not my beautiful thing. I'm not a fan of the white prime and armor motif. That said, I'm also not really looking too big into the Autobots from the 86 movie just yet. I will get to them at some point, but it's not something that I've really put a lot of thought into. So I'm not really sure what route I'm going to go for Ultra Magnus. I probably won't be sure anytime soon. I will say this, however, I am planning to go all in on their Optimus Prime offering from Fans Toys or Fantastic Model, which I'm told next year will be the year. So you can expect me to go all in on that son of a bitch. But for Fantastic Model FM02, I'm out. We're at numero uno or number one, and that's going to be X Transbots, Ratliff, and Ron, or their take on the Vanette brothers, Ratchet and Ironhide. And I'm not even going to beat around the bush with this one. Of all the Transformers masterpiece manufacturers out there, X Transbots is the one I hold under the most scrutiny. I know that there are a lot of collectors out there that like them, and I get it. I think they make a very beautiful looking product, but of all the third party manufacturers, I think X Transbots has the most questionable engineering, and I think they have the shakiest QC of any manufacturer, official or third party or otherwise. I did consider Ratliff and Ron for a little bit. I waited for some initial reviews. I watched the Mega Motion, and for one, the transformation just looked absolutely awful. Panels everywhere, typical X Transbots, having to rotate the whole front upper trunk around a small pivot at the waist. It just totally turned me off. I lost any interest that I otherwise had in them. And I didn't honestly think that the robot modes looked all that great, especially in comparison to the Takara. And I'm not a fan of the official Takara by any stretch. I think they're okay. They have their perks, but I'm not 100% behind those molds. But apparently, they do still hold their own, even against some of these newer third-party offerings, which I found to be quite surprising. But definitely on the no purchase list for 2024 or ever will I get the X Transbots, Ratliff, and Ron. That's going to wrap it up for this list. So let me know down in the comments, what are some figures that you personally abstain from purchasing in 2024? Are some of those figures on this list? Are they for similar reasons that I had or completely different reasons? Or are they figures that I wasn't even thinking of in the first place? Let me know. Let's get a discussion going. And that will be about it. So you guys know what to do at this point. If you found this video fun, mostly fun, but a little bit informative, let me know in the comments down below or leave me a like. I do greatly appreciate it. They do help me out immensely. Also, if you're a fan of Transformers videos, reviews, thoughts on Transformers, any of that jargon, or Eagle Moss potentially, consider subscribing to my channel. Again, thank you so much to the 700 plus of you that are. I'm so happy you could join me on this little journey of mine. And that is about it. I have been and always shall be FC Finch. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for making me a part of your collecting journey. And of course, happy holidays and happy new year.